Hi, Dan here. That was an example from my book Creative Bass Exercises, published by Fundamental Changes. And the premise of the whole book was to write some musical exercises, I think I did 70 in the end, that worked on technique, how to apply theory, groove as a bass player is incredibly important, but doing it in a way that sounded like something you might hear in the real world of music. So yeah, I'm really proud of the book. I think I've achieved it by and large, and I wanted to just go through one of the exercises. That was 2H, I think, in the book, and I've split it up into different chapters. So this is from the pop chapter of bass lines that sound a bit poppy. Now, we're in the key of G natural minor here. So you've got two chords. You've got a G minor and a C. So the whole thing is kind of based around that, really. So I'll take you through the line very quickly, and then there's a backing track and the PDF which you can download from my site onlinebasscourses.com. I'll put a link below the video. And the backing track's 5 minutes long, so towards the end of that example I started to fill in a little bit, and I'll show you some ideas you can use in this video. And yeah, you've got 5 minutes just to go crazy, do what you like, really. So the first thing to note, apart from the fact that we're in G minor, is that the feel of this is using swing 16th notes. So 16th notes, usually straight, very straight kind of feel. Swing 16th notes is kind of That's the first thing to get used to, which is a bit different. It's used a lot in hip hop, that kind of feel. So I'm tapping my foot always on the beats. And if you're trying this without the metronome or the backing track up first, you really want that feel just to be going round and round your head of the digga 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 digga, just to nail that groove, okay? So the first bit, we've got a slide, we've got a G on the 3rd fret of the E string, and then a slide from fret 5 to 7 on the G string. My thumb at the back, I'm kind of just keeping it there and pivoting round so I can just return quickly to that 3rd fret. I'm doing the slide with my 4th finger there. You can do it with your 3rd if you find that easier. And those fingering guidelines underneath the notes are just that. I mean, there's often many different ways of playing the same thing on the bass. So as long as your technique is good, you can do what you feel works for you. The second time, the second bar, we go instead of the quarter note on that. Then we move to the C. There you can really hear those swing quave 16th notes at work there. And that little run at the end. Now that's just a run up a Dorian mode. Don't worry too much if you don't know much about modes, but this is a good way of how you might apply it in a natural minor key, which is what we're in here, G. The chord on the 4th note. So let me just play the scale, actually, it might help. The natural minor scale starting on the 3rd fret of the E string goes like this. You play fret 3, 5, 6 of the E, 3, 5, 6 of the A, and 3, 5 on the D like this. And the chord that's formed on the 4th note is a C minor. And the mode, like you as a bass player might not be playing chords like the guitar is in that backing track and the keyboard, but you can play modes. So the C Dorian mode is the one that you play. So if you're in a natural minor key, whenever you're on the 4th note, you can you can bust out your Dorian mode. Okay, so that would fit. And in this instance, I'm using fingers 1, 3, 4 on fret 3, 5, 6 of the A string, then 1 and 3 on fingers 1 and 3 on frets 3 and 5 of the D string, and then doing a little shift, so a little shift downwards to the 2nd fret of the G string, and then going fingers 1, 2, 4 on frets 2, 3, 5. That's really confusing me, the fingers and the frets thing. But that is just one way of playing a Dorian mode. That would be another way. You know, you can experiment. Yeah, we've got open strings there you can use as well. I think it is a good idea to learn to play one thing on the bass in many different ways, but you can just stick to the suggestions in the track. So, and when I was starting to do some fills later on, we have the fact that we're in the G minor, the key of G minor to help us. So I was just using pentatonic really, it just works really well and it sounds great. So going from the 3rd fret G of the E string, that would be fret 3 to 6 of the E, and then 3, 5 of the A, D and G strings. And that note sliding out is the next note. So just there, I'll show you exactly what I did on that particular. I'm making it up, but did a hammer on from 10 to 12, and then walked down the minor pentatonic scale. So from 10 of the G string, and then 12, 10 of the D string, drop down to fret 8 of the D string. What did I do? Yeah, and then just a G on the 10th fret of the A string. I think I did a slide there. But as I say, that backing track lasts for 5 minutes, so you can experiment to your heart's delight there. I'll definitely do a few more examples from the book, but if you're interested in checking it out, I'll put some links below the video. It's available on Amazon, and you can also, if you want, get it on PDF and also on your Kindle. And there's a link that you can download all the audio examples and backing tracks. There are backing tracks for not all of the 70 exercises, but a few, but there are audio examples for everything. That was from the pop chapter, but there's a rock, blues, funk, R&B, jazz, a couple of other ones. And you know, even stuff like I put a couple of double-handed tapping exercises in there, which I don't really use that in my playing in the kind of real world of music, but it's very good for stamina and strength and coordination. And there's tons of stuff that you can work towards. It's mostly intermediate to advanced kind of level, but even there are some exercises that if you're just starting you can use, and you know, it's always good to have something to work towards as well. I'd be really grateful if you could like, share, subscribe to the channel. I'm really trying to build the channel now, and all that kind of stuff kind of really helps me keep going with it. So that'd be great, and if you've got any questions, just leave it in the comments box and I'll get back to you.